So it's always how this goes. Super lapse in a couple weeks. We went out racing a couple weekends ago and we did really well, but we noticed the car has a small head gasket leak. So we went and checked it this last weekend and it's gone from small to slightly larger, so emergency head gasket job. So we got hit from behind, so the fuser's a little stuck today apparently. Slightly damaged diffuser for sale. So the removal of the K20C engine is actually pretty simple on these NSXs. Essentially exhaust, drive shafts, mounts, 2 cooling hoses, 1 shifter cable, electrical, done. So let's try to make this as quick as possible. Downpipe off. Let's get these wheels off. A lot of people always ask us why the mismatched front and rear wheels. It's because we can never find the fitment for the rear with this wide body kit. The Advent Super GTs, they do make this wheel and this fitment, but it's insanely hard to get. It takes months, and they're like $3 grand. So here we are, sticking with the hypergrams. And the stop deck rotors have seen better days. Yeah, we always have problems with axle nuts loosening up, so a lot of Loctite orange on these things to make sure they don't come flying off and kill us a wheel bearing. Now to get the axles out, basically have the alignment points. That's ABS wires that have to be loosened up. The arm has to come out and swing essentially. Usually we take the sway bar off to make that a little easier. For all you guys who know me well, you know I never work on my freaking car, so here's proof that it happens occasionally. Almost take these freaking washers off because they get lost. The exhaust kind of captures the sway bar, so it's staying there. Phone's always going to ring whenever you're under a car, right? That went further than I thought it would. That guy's out, this guy's out. This part kind of sucks. These axles weigh a shit ton, but not too bad. All right, halfway out. Boom. This side's usually a little worse. Oh, not today. All right, there we go. So yeah, these are custom drive shafts. They have a K20C inner and an NSX outer. All right, now it's time for the engine mount in the rear, and we've got our front engine mount that needs to come out as well. So this mount typically is just what's preventing it from torquing. It doesn't actually support the engine that much. Just flip that guy out of the way, come do the front one. Now, we think the head gasket was blown. We don't know how blown. So let's hope this engine oil drain isn't water. So we've been running Motul 300V in this puppy. See if it's been doing the trick. Whew. That ethanol always gets it. I don't see any milkshake looking stuff though. It looks like just what the oil looks like after we run a couple hours worth of wheel-to-wheel racing on it. It smells like ethanol though. Underneath the K20C, we do have some stuff underneath that has to be dealt with. So we've got this return line that has to come off, and it looks like we need to reseal it at the other end as well. So we also have the factory oil cooler to take off. Now we've taken it off the transmission and mounted it to a plate on here. I think the original reason we did that was just for clearances up top with clutch related stuff, so this just made it a little easier to fit. Some people have eliminated this completely or put aftermarket ones on, but I find that the trans temperatures are perfectly fine with this stock cooler. One more, we can't see. Now, last thing I'm going to do right over here is, which is not required, I'm just going to take this subframe beam all the way out, because then I don't have to take the bracket off the front of the transmission. Otherwise, they're going to hit each other and snag, and it just makes it a pain in the butt. So, now the original NSX, this supported the front engine mount as well. I've been taking out these bolts. You're taking out a lot of the side carriage, but as long as you have all the factory side bolts in, you can take this guy out perfectly safely. It's no problem. Go. So right here is the oil return line. We're just going to take off the drain there, so that way when I go from the top and can go and pull up on the turbo to remove it, it just comes off, and I don't have to revisit the bottom of this car again. Get that guy nice and loose, drop him down. Usually this line's not too stuck on here. Yeah, so that should be it on the bottom side. We're ready to go top side now and get the rest of this puppy out of here. Back, I've washed my hands, got rid of some of the grease. The next thing we got to do on this particular setup is my wing has to come off, because most electronics are actually in the trunk. So the PDM and the battery and everything are in the trunk at the moment. Luckily it's an APR, so it doesn't weigh crap. And being a race car, the hood struts, well, they don't exist. So like I said, in the trunk, we actually have the AccuSump, which we saw we disconnected earlier. The PDM is sitting right here. The battery's to the left of it, along with the kill relay for the main power. But all of this can be condensed massively and be put in the engine bay or in the driver's compartment if somebody wanted to do that for a street car. Pretty much after those power wires are disconnected, we're done in the engine bay here, so we're gonna get our tools out before we can't find them, and then close this up and move to the, well, excuse me, we're going from the trunk to the, you know what I meant. Right. Okay, so on the engine bay side of things, like I said, we already pulled the power through from the back. Again, unlike a street car, we are actually running a air-to-water intercooler, and it's actually inside the cabin. So these charge pipes are in the way, so we're gonna take these guys out, then we'll lift the turbo out of the way, disconnect some electronics and the fuel, and then we just have two side mounts to go. That's it. Well, in a absolutely shocking turn of events, I have lost my 11mm. So, I'll be back when I find that. Ha! Found it. Now, we get a lot of questions about where the piping runs through the back window. It's because of the air-to-water intercooler being inside the car. that reduced the charge temps by a solid 15 degrees. So for a race car, definitely worth doing. Yes, don't at me in the comments. I put tools on the back of my car all the time, and no, I don't care. This is a race car, not a beauty queen. If it was your car, you can do whatever you want. Drop the bolt. One downpipe. Now for every NSX owner's favorite part, the giant coolant lines. These things suck. These are a pain in the butt to get off sometimes. Surprisingly, there's still a little bit of water in there, so apparently I gotta go get a coolant bucket. Now you can see the turbo is right here. The clutch slave bolts we were talking about earlier are straight down here. Super easy to access from the top. Turbo needs to come up and off. Usually we don't disconnect the coolant lines because they are long enough to sit right on top there. And then over on this side, I've got fuel stuff to do, and I think that's about it. So let's get it done. These guys right here, that's the entire engine harness. It's passing through the firewall going to the Motec that's on the other side. But this makes it extremely easy for engine removal because just put it there and we're done. And just like that, the engine is out. Took us about two and a quarter hours, something like that, start to finish. Had a little bit of help with a friend of mine, and then some customers up front to help with. But yeah, it's not that hard. It's a small power plant, relatively speaking, compared to the C series that's originally in here. So removal is quite easy. The systems to make it fit are actually fairly straightforward as well. I bet you someone could do it yourself this fairly inexpensively in terms of the physical section. The electrical section is really where most of the cost in this swap comes in. But compared to pulling an NSX engine, I'd much rather pull this every day of the week. So thanks for watching. If you want to keep following all of our updates with the K20C NSX, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It's always appreciated. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below.